The little rocket mouse, and ladies and gentlemen, the V2. And last I left off on that, I went ahead and put another coat of field gray on there, and then I went back in after that dried and started masking off a generic splinter pattern there. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm masking it off for the lighter colors. And the first color is going to be dark yellow, and then we'll probably do a little bit of, I want to say, some red brown, just to break up the monotony. Basically have three vibrant colors for the missile, and then we'll tone everything down with some weathering, some shading, and because we like a good worn missile. But anyway, got the splinter pattern on there. Wanted to show that first before I started painting, and then once I get the lighter coat on, then I'll go in and mask off another section for the red brown, and then you'll have green, red brown, and the tiger yellow color. So anyway, other than that, we are taking shape. And camo patterns, I don't like to copy. I kind of like to have them random, because you got field apply, you got factory applied, and just I like to keep it simple and keep it just generic. And that way it makes yours look different than everyone else's. The tank hole, I went ahead and I had the tiger yellow already on, and I went ahead and put the camo on. And I'm a real big fan of I like faded camo. I'm not a real big fan of vibrant colors. Now the V2 will have vibrant colors, but that's on design. For tanks, I like especially camo, I like to water down the paints and apply them real lightly, where they're kind of dark but more faded and everything. And I used I want to say olive grum and some red brown there, and I got it all over on the hull. Just I wouldn't say a squiggly pattern, but I kind of like tiger stripes is kind of the way I do it. Again, I like to do a random pattern, and there's nothing really planned. It's just freehand. I just think it looks a little more realistic. And then of course we're going to do some weathering on here to get that even toned down more. So you'll see the camo, but you got to get up on it to see it, if that makes sense, because the lights are shining on it, and it's just it's there, but we're going to tone it down just a little bit more with some weathering. But anyway, little rocket mouse is getting some paint. The Viper Defender, I had to go back in. I sanded most of the sanded down most of the epoxy sculpt, and now I'm down to painting. You can see where the police is on the side. I have to wait about a day or two for this to dry, because I got a lot of primer on here that, to me, it's a little tacky. But I'm going to have to take some sandpaper and just sand that down just a little bit. It's not a stick or anything. It's just more like I want to say printed on the hull. But I got to sand that down, because you can see it on both sides. But anyway, got to do that, and then one more coat, and then I got to figure out what type of gray it is. It's more of a light gray, but we'll figure that out once we get there. The fangs are on the front. One thing I got to mention, if you've ever seen the show or anything, it's got fangs on the back. I'm not going to put any on here because there ain't really no place to put them. I mean, I could put like two little deals of putty and it just wouldn't look right, I don't think. So we're going to pretend that they're on there, and we'll just leave the front and keep going on, because it's not the exact same car that it is in the Viper show. But anyway, that is where I am on the Viper Defender. Back on the little rocket mouse, the launch rail, I went back in and sanded that down, got it smooth. Had to use some plastic putty, which I didn't want to use any more red putty. I'm tired of it, and that was just simpler to put it on, wait a day, and sand it smooth. So we're done with that. It's ready to paint, and we're going to do another color for the little rocket mouse. We're going to have green, red, and yellow. Basically same color on the tank, just more vibrant on the missile. And this was going to be Panzer gray, and that way we'll have three different colors. And then I want to do a metallic look, so I want a little more worn on the missile, because the missile shot off the rail here, so we'll have some good chips and some good worn areas on the launch rail. The Delta connection, I went ahead and had to sand off my little little paint run I had going on there, but I got everything painted. It's got its base coat on, which is solid white. I'm going to do the bottom gray once I do the cars, so get that painted, and then it's ready for some future, so we can get it shiny and then get the decals on, and that's pretty much done on that. So we'll getting close to decal duty on the Delta Connection. Getting ready to start the Stealth. I did get some lights in, so we're ready to start it. I want to start with the hood, and I'll show everyone. I'm going to start that probably either today or tomorrow. I got to cut the headlights up and get them off the hood and get them where they're open, and I want to start that, and then we'll try to start building that this week or upcoming weekend. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. We're getting ready to start the Stealth. Delta Connection's got its base coat on. The little rocket mouse getting some paint, and the Viper Defender getting its primer. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.